Good morning. This is Utkarsh Misra, and this is my project for this is my video recording for the final project of Digital Design Lab. So this is a problem given by our TA as an instructor, which is a parking problem. There are 8 spots, just 8 spot and 2 floors, so basically 16 spot in total, and there's a certain way that the parking should work. There are instructions given on here. So basically the gist of instruction is that a person must be present at the gate, as well as it should have a parking permit to get inside. While after he shows the parking permit, there should be a display of which floor and which parking spot is empty, where he should go and park his car. Also, the parking should be filled in order to reduce the congestion. That means it should go serial wise, and also serial wise to just reduce the congestion. And we're using 7-segment displays. So now let's move on to our board, and I'll show you how it works on the board for the way I coded it. Here we are on our board. Basically, there are 16 switches on a Basys 3 FPGA board. I have assigned all these 16 switches as the parking spots, which for 0 it means for 0 it means the parking spot is empty, and for 1 it means the parking spot is full. These are the 2 displays. The display on the left shows the floor on which the parking is available, and on the right the display on the right shows which parking spot is available. This ranges from 1 to 8, and this display either stays 1 or 2 depending upon the floor, and this depending upon the parking spot. This button right here is the wait. Well, by wait it means if the car is on the gate, just to show that there's a wait. And here's the permit. These both must be pressed simultaneously to display anything on the 7-seg displays. Now I have by default coded my 7-seg displays to show 8 and 8 if nothing is being input, or if no parking spot is empty. So let's begin. Let's think of a situation where on the first floor the 4th parking spot is empty, and there are a few more on the 2nd floor, but since there's an order to fill in the parking spots, these don't really matter. So now let's see. So the car comes in, has its wait, has the parking spot. Once it presses in, it shows 1 and 4. That means on the first floor, parking spot number 4 should be filled. Alright, the car comes in, it fills in the, it fills, because it's 1, it fills in the 4th parking spot. Now the next car that comes in, it should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's basically first parking spot on the 2nd floor that should show up to the next car, to just reduce the congestion and to follow the guidelines given by the project. Car comes in, has the wait, puts in the permission, it shows 2, 1. That means on the 2nd floor, the first parking spot is the one where it has to go. The car goes in, fills into that spot. There are 3 more spots empty in a series. So let's go. Next car comes in. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are for the first floor. Then 1, 2, 3. So 2nd floor, 3rd parking spot should display for the next car. Next car comes in, puts in the wait, puts in the parking permit. It has 2, 3. That means 2nd floor, 3rd parking spot. Since likewise it works out, let's look for this one as the last example. This should show 2 and 5 because it's the 5th parking spot on the 2nd floor. Let's do this, and here it shows 2, 5. That means it works perfectly. Now let's just completely turn everything off, and now check what if a car comes in, if all the parking spots are filled. By default I have coded my code to show 8 and 8 in that case, so it should show 8 and 8. Now let's look at the code that I have written in, just to justify how this thing works. There's a smiley over there, shows us how you should smile in all the cases. Well, anyways, Back to the code. Here's our standard parking code. We have input, which is like a 8-bit input. This shows the first floor and the 8 parking spots on the first floor. This shows second floor and the 8 parking spots there. There's a clock reset. These are used for the 7-sec displays. There's an input wait. There's an input pass, which I could have written PP, which is like Outlook. So parking permit, but it's alright. P for permit. These two are based for the 7-sec displays. Then we have these 2 registers for floor and spot. I'll explain why they are used. So once you start, always at anything that happens on the board, we have if statement checking on for our wait and for parking. If they both are 1, then only anything will execute. And then it's just a series of checks that our our code does for all the parking spot. If any of the parking spot is empty, it just shows up that it just registers the binary value that has to be represented in the registers floor and spot. Like for say here it shows the 3rd parking spot on the first floor is empty. So it will show on the floor, it will show first, and then the spot it shows 4 binary 0011, which is basically number 3 in decimal places. So this is how the code works now. It just checks in all the different parking spots available in the whole parking garage, and then at the end it just has a default binary 1000 that means just 8, and that's why when nothing is filled, it shows 8 and 8. And finally, we have the display file here. Display file is something that we discussed during the post lab 6. And here's my code.